Hello, 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 everybody. Maris Rey, Water Dragon Extraordinaire, back at you again with another Genshin Impact live stream. And today we're going to be doing. I think today is going to be kind of a slower day in terms of content, I'll say. Yeah, because basically I don't really have much to do. Yeah, today we're just going to do our dailies, and then honestly, for the most part, that's it. Just dailies. I can't really think of much else to do. I could investigate to see if there's a character I want to build up. I suppose I could finish working on either Shincho or Zhongli. How are people playing with Zhongli anyways? What's the most famous Zhongli build as of right now? It's Tenacity for full damage, huh? So I don't understand. Let me look up there's a Google Sheets, or Google Doc rather, that has all the hot builds for the characters, so all their best builds and variations of their best builds. So let me take a look at Zhongli. So they all suggest Something that can be utilized as a field burst damage deal due to his short mental burst cooldown and the magical. So most people are running him as a burst, which makes sense. Could get a death match for him.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember.
So people are really out here just building him with Emblem of Severed Fate. Wait, what? Emblem. City. I mean, I see the appeal of Tenacity. Tenacity is what I'm using right now. But I'm just doing HP, am I not? Like a black tassel. Just for big shield guard now. Like, kind of okay with just running it like this, though. But the burst version of him would be drastically different because it would be a 4-piece emblem of Severed Fate with probably the most realistic option for me would be like a deathmatch. Yeah, it would probably be. I don't really use a white tassel, I think. You see how much crit white tassel ends up on at the end of the day. Well, level 90 white tassel has 23% crit. I think all characters start with a natural 5% crit rate. So that would put me to like 28% crit with white tassel. Honestly, it's not like that big of a difference compared to... Oh no, never mind, it's a pretty significant difference. 23 to 36. Oh, that's an extra 13%. 36 plus 5 would put you at least 40% crit rate. Oh gosh, that's so bad. Do I not? Do I have her? Oh, she's on fucking attack for me? I don't have a crit damage? Helmet that she could wear? Yeah, I guess I don't. Just the one I have for riding Shogun, I guess. Wow, I can't believe I don't have... No, my artifacts are really... They're really lacking. Oh well, I mean, it is what it is. Tingling still does a lot of damage despite what I just saw out of her artifacts. Okay, so it's not like I can really use white tassel for jungly, but I could just buy another deathmatch. It's not that big of a deal. I think I'm already at level 30, so it's just a matter of... It's just a matter of actually buying the battle pass if I want it. I'm gonna do the trance domains right now, so there's not too much to worry about after that. So my big problem is, how do I unlock... There's another world boss, right? This is the Saritsa. No, not Saritsa, I'm sorry. The... What's her name? I forgot her name. Senorita? Senora? Yeah, this is Senora. I just don't know who I would work on next. It's my big problem. It's like what I'm stuck thinking about. I think if I had to guess... Let me see, how are people playing Kokomi? I'm sure they're building her like Ocean Q clan or something like that. For Kokomi, they run her energy recharge, HP healing bonus. Man, these artifacts are awful. Kokumi focuses on just using her before her elemental skill's duration ends to refresh her skill duration. It's like easy enough to have done anyways. This lasts for how long? This lasts for 12 seconds. So realistically, so long as I use this at 10 seconds, that'll always be fine. It heals a lot anyway, so I'm not even like that concerned. I know, like I don't really invest too much in Kokumi despite taking her to 90. But what am I supposed to do? Like she's basically just a healer. She just exists to give somebody attack because she has the Thrilling Tales, which I didn't even really need to enhance all that much. Honestly, just Thrilling Tales and that's it, right? Give somebody 48% attack for 10 seconds. Good enough? I think so. So then... I guess I could keep working on my Aratake Ito, unless I want to work on Sucrose as well, but wouldn't that be working on too many Animo characters, considering I'm already primed and ready for... what's her name? Or, I mean, his name, Kazuha. Who would I want to build? I guess I should at least... Oops. I did already take him to 20. Guessing all these guys are... Surely. I mean, I guess I could just be Chi-Chi. Diana might just be better than her at this point, though. I know I could stand to work on Shell, because my talents for him are not good. My artifacts for him are not good. So this could be a higher crit value. Bad crit value, bad crit value. It's like a kinda okay crit value, but definitely could be better. At basically no crit value. But my shell's kind of weak. She uses the Royal Spear. Is this login? Okay, well, whatever. Let's go do the trans domains now. We'll figure out who we're gonna... I mean, it doesn't really matter if we find out who we're gonna work on today anyways, right? Because we're just doing trans domains today. At least to start. Okay, so this is Fire and Ice. So... we basically just don't want to take a fire unit. I get hella stupid with it with triple water. Look at this. I almost never use Shao, but let's try it out. I'm doing this mostly because I want to try out Diana.
You're trembling. Is it the cold or just cowardice?
You can bully me? No, my sword. Let me leave you a bit. Busted. Here comes the catch.
Disappear. Detestable. Into the frozen void. Get out of my way.
Detestable. Wait.
The Tsaritsa's benevolence has no place for transgressors.
But Tsaritsa's benevolence has no place for transgressors.
May my
Awful.
rain outlines your face. Rain cutter. Game's up. Something's over. Sorry.
Think you can bully me?
Embrace your searing reckoning. Embrace your searing reckoning.
Huh, I'm here. Think you can bully me? Gotcha. Things are about to get dicey. No, my sword. Witness the power of Gugwa.
Useless.
Wait.
Who dares? Call me a witch.
Who dares to call me a witch? Don't totally burn. Where did I heal from? Oh, from Xingqiu's swords.
Look at you, Blue What a drag. Here comes the catch. Rain outlines your face. Let me leave you a burst.
Evil conquering.
Fine. You could just sit still, man. I didn't really enjoy doing this with Xiao, but it wasn't the worst even. Just because my team's not it, you know? It's just that's all there is to it. My Xiao team's not it. Okay, let's go do Ashdaha. No matter what, I always have to do Ashdaha with Zhongli. No fire or electro. Let's see what options we have. I guess we could do this. It's not really high damage at all, but this is super safe. I basically can't lose with this.
It is time, Morax.
We settle this now.
Things are about to get dicey.
My apologies. Sakura swirl.
No atonement for 1,000 years pain.
For 1,000 years of pain. I love Azdaha.
Hold the line.
I didn't factor this in.
Bro, can you? Why did she not use her ultimate?
Whirling snow.
Solidify.
Rest and rebuild.
Gotcha. Here comes the catch.
My apologies.
Can't believe Yelan died. She lost 25k HP that quickly? I can't believe it. I can't believe it at all.
Whirling snow. Embrace the ice.
Gotcha.
Bah, 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 bah. It was a pretty easy fight, all things considered. More axe. Yeah, 2 more gilded scales. That's exactly what I need. The gilded scales are what we need for Kazuha. We only need 12 of them, but I mean, it's nice to replace the ones that we don't have anymore, because I had to do some for Yelan, I believe. Where's Child? Probably take on Child with this team, but I'd rather do Wu Tao.
Good eye.
Wu Tao.
This
Ooh.
opportunity is quite hard
Yeah.
to come by. Well then, amuse me. Surrender is a valid option. I promise I'll be gentle. You've made some progress. Not bad. You've got it tricky.
Quietly now. Game's up. Time's over.
No use hiding back there.
Hey, buddy.
Order guide you.
Gotcha. Things are about to get dicey.
Rain cutter.
Oh, huge. Yeah, damn. Child just can't even compete anymore. He's just too different. The characters are too strong now. And then take it up with what's his name? Andreas.
Here we go.
Oh.
Yahoo!
It's a daisy up, it's a daisy. Oh, I can't wait for Kazuha. I'm in fact already tired of waiting for Kazuha. I'm tired of it, old man. I want him now. Fungao? Right. Raveler, ready to test your skills?
Stabilize.
Busted. Here comes the challenge.
Wasn't very clean gameplay, but whatever.
Things are about to get dicey. Gotcha. Let me leave you first.
Sheesh. Gets me every time. I'm telling you. Seeing that type of damage doesn't get old. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. He's starting to pop off. What's going on here? Okay, let's move on to the commission dealing team to deal with commissions. We only have so much to do, and it's a shame that it's the case because I would like to play Genshin as much as humanly possible, but the game doesn't allow me to. I'd like to just keep on playing.
Think you can get away? Here we go. Shine down.
Beautiful. I wish there was an easier way for me to track whether I have my Thrilling Tales buff ready to be used again. Like an easier fashion. Instead of yelling for Alexa to set a 20-second timer. I'm sure there must be a better way.
Illusion shattered. Hold the line. Time for takeoff. Water glide and brace yourself. Shine down. Allow me.
Hey buddy, knock it off. Okay, that's another formation down. Ew, full speed ahead. I hate full speed ahead. Well, I guess there's just nothing we can do about it.
We can eat it.
We're just gonna have to do our Genshin dailies as quickly as possible and then move on to doing something else. Maybe we'll play more Maple Story. I'm low-key kinda down for that. If not Maple Story, I guess we could play something. I don't know, like maybe Dead by Daylight, maybe something. I'm not even really sure what we could play. There's so many things we could play. I just don't know what we would play. Dokumi gives so much attack now that I think about it. Kind of a lot of attack just for free, right? Oh, please be the one that I have to go to Springvale. Please be the Springvale walking one. I'm gonna switch to the other team just in case it is. Come on. No, it's Ernest. I hate Ernest 1 because I just teleport to it. I know where Ernest is. Don't try to talk like it's not super easy to find him. Oh, Ernest, I'm coming at Mach speed to give you your radish balls. Did you guys hear that Overwatch 2 news that came out? We're gonna be getting another beta pretty soon, and they announced some of the features to look forward to when the game comes out completely, which it'll be coming out completely, I believe they said October 4th, which that's a really reasonable date, to be honest. But that's not... Ooh, Adventure Rank 58, let's go! It's not every day we get an Adventure Rank, let's claim that. I'll happily claim that. In fact, it feels like it's been a really long time since I reached this adventure rank. Got a free summon, did we? Got a 5-star on this summon? I could swear I'm close. So the last that we've tracked is we're at least 60 down. But yeah, we should be coming to a close there any day now for the 5-star. Let's see, what did I open this to check with? Should still be about the same. I only gain about a wish a day. But I excitedly check every time. Oh man. We have about 140 summons locked and loaded. Not much in the way of pity. So all we can do is be hopeful, I guess. Be hopeful that we could somehow pull Kazuha. What is this doing? I was just mad at me. We already finished almost everything to do in Genshin. Isn't that sad? Even with trying to delay my content. I'm basically out of stuff to do within 30 minutes. We could like try to go through planning, I guess, to see if there's something that makes sense to do. Planning ones. Again, I kind of don't really know. Oh, jeez. Jeez. I don't really know what to expect to do. I could like make Fischl into something. I could do something Fischl
I
related.
created another universe and founded paradise. For I, Fischl, am the Prinzessin de
I honestly kind of like the idea of going back to burst support Zhongli. I could map out theoretical damage for him, which we could take a look at here.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory?
So this is purely theoretical. So let's see. Pull in Zhongli. We want to use this against level 90 enemies. We'll look at the 90 Hilichurl just for fun. So let's pretend that I have him at 9-9. Potential deathmatch. Let's just say at least 2 enemies. That's like a fairly average one to have for me. And we just want the big total burst damage. It's important to use total burst damage because on this calculator that includes the HP bonus that you get for the additional talent. Okay. So obviously we want emblem.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember.
I'll max
But where
these
are
out.
those who share the memory?
And I'm pretty sure we want crit damage, geo damage. Let's throw in some substats. So, assuming this is like a fairly average way to get it. This is like, yeah, pathetically average.
Wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those?
So even
who
with this
share?
pathetically average like iteration of it, we could still get on average, basically if he crits, almost a 50k total burst damage, which 50k is no small number, and it's AoE, and he could do it like fairly often, to be honest. So one thing I know is if you do HP, you get a stronger shield. So with this, I'll still have an almost 9,000 shield. However, if I was to switch this to attack, my shield becomes significantly lesser. But to be honest, I don't gain that much.
Same as I remember.
I don't gain that much damage.
Who share the memory?
It's totally better to go HP, in my opinion. Okay, but now let's look at theoretical stuff. Like, it's not unrealistic for me to get like this much crit rate. Maybe this much crit rate with this much crit damage. This is not unrealistic, I think. And then, as for these, I'm sure
Osmanthus wine tastes the
could
same
do
as I
something a little
remember.
like this, just really up the
But where
ante a
are
bit.
those who share the memory?
That's like an insane amount. And what if this was Staff of Home? Is Staff of Homo even his best weapon? Probably, that's right, because it's the big crit damage. I mean, 74k, it's mostly like if he actually was to
Osmanthus
crit, of
wine
course.
tastes
But
the same as I remember.
actually, let's see White Tassel.
Share the memory.
It's like realistically, if you're broke and you can't get that deathmatch, 46k, like it's really not that bad. We're getting 3,000 damage here. I'm almost down to just give my Zhongli a White Tassel. Now, of course, if I was to undo all the like nasty crit rate or crit damage stuff I gave him,
Tastes the same as I remember.
it does drop a fair bit.
Where are those who share the memory?
So I just need to make sure that I can get good artifact. So this is like a 27, there's a 30 crit value. Let's try to get the same one. About 30 crit value. Again, this is just theoretical numbers here. 30 crit value. It's like these are fairly nice stats considering that it's just
Same as I remember. But
considering
where are
that
those
it's
who
just
share the memory?
a White Tassel. The problem is I don't even have a White Tassel to give him, don't I? Or do I? I do have a White Tassel actually. Let me see. Let's imagine if I was to build up this White Tassel. Okay, so let me put out this Ascension here. Okay, so normally I also use this. So let's see, if I was to add Runway, let's say, oh, I've already listed Jungle. Let's say I want to take him to 90. I don't really care for this, but say I want to take him to 9 on each. Still eat Kazuhaka. And add a weapon being White Tassel. Okay. What's the day? Friday? Okay, well I can't do this right now anyways, but 1,300. So this would take me a decent amount, but it's not really that bad. And the amount of like I think the amount of usefulness I'll gain out of Zhongli is impressive. But at the end of the day, no matter what, I still need to get good Emblem of Severed Fate artifacts. Like, I can't get around the fact of needing Emblem of Severed Fate artifacts. It's impossible. But what I could do for now is I could put items on my Yunjin. Oh, jeez. Oh yeah, her name is Yunjin. I started to think about Yunjin Lee from Dead by Daylight when I was speaking her name. Okay, so I'm just gonna give Yunjin pretend items for Zhongli. Okay, so let's figure this out. And of course, I'm gonna want high crit value. So crit damage. Nope. Let's see if we can get crit rate here. It's kind of low crit rate, but it could work. Let's feed it something. We don't care for this. Maiden's beloved, right? Okay, and then let's feed off some of these healing bonuses. That hurt. That hurt really badly. Wait, let's look over some of the worse artifacts, of course. Just do base XP. Bad. This might not be bad, I don't know. This has potential. Potential. Definitely no potential. No potential. Let's feed these away. Same thing with these feathers. Any of the ones with absolutely no potential are definitely being fed off. Yeah, no way, buddy. It's probably not that good, but I'll hold on to it just in case. No, this has to go. That has to go, unfortunately. Let's see. Let's get rid of some of the bad. Bad. I think perhaps my threshold for what I consider bad is too... Yeesh. That's not good either. I have high reservations about this one. Like, I'm fairly certain this is gonna end up not good. Look at this. What am I holding this for? I don't know. This is dog shit by the looks of things. That's a start. That's a healthy start. Let's sell another locked item. That tutorial seems honestly pretty good. That's like okay as well. Let's deal with some of these circles, or goblets rather. If they're trash, they're trash. 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 Well, actually, for Maiden Beloved, it's like kind of okay. That's trash, though. Trash. I mean, I'll hold on to it still, even though I know it's trashy. Trash, 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 trash. Oh, I went to HP, huh? I think I'll just hold because it looks kinda okay. Or was it I lost it? Okay, the feather and flower, like you just have to make do. Like you have to get good rolls on these because they're the easiest ones to ensure that you can get good rolls. If that makes any sense. This is where it gets complicated, though. Bad flowering. Bad. Bad feather, bad feather. No, can't use it. Can't use these at all. Okay, do I have a geo damage? I do, but I really need a geo damage. Whatever. Then I need crit damage, which I know I don't have. Okay. I'd always look to see geo damage. What rate? Not really good enough though. Maybe get something going with that. Let's enhance it a bit, I guess. I guess there's no point in working on it right now. We'll just have to continue farming Emblem of Severed Fate and see where we get from there. But I am liking the idea of I forgot. So Wednesdays and Saturdays for Zhongli's talents. Assuming I want to get them up to 9 in each, which I do. Only going up by 3 more. Eesh. I'm running a bit low on money though from upgrading all these characters. I'll have to focus some time to farming money at some point because of that. Well, as it seems, I don't really know what else to build. I think running a burst damage Zhongli build would be beneficial to my Hu Tao team in the Spiral Abyss, or to my any of my teams that are running Zhongli to begin with, because Zhongli as of right now, Zhongli doesn't do anything. He just gives big shield with damage resistance shred. I'm sorry, with resistance shreds, both physical and elemental resistance shreds, rather. And he gives like marginal attack bonuses with tenacity of the Millilith. But then outside of that, that's it. That's like all he does. It's like kind of a lot already, but it's not enough. This is like a budget investment. And like you see, I could even still stand to improve him. Like, I could still take this shitty feather higher and this higher, so that he could have even more HP, I guess. Outside of that, this is a nice feather. This is a nice looking feather indeed. Outside of that, I don't really know. Seems kind of good already. It's like good enough for like what I wanted out of him, just being a shielder. Like his shield strength is very nice. Let me see, how much is he pumping out shield wise right now? I don't know how much shield he's making, but I know it's probably quite a bit. But I'm thinking we don't need survivability in the Spiral Abyss right now. We're just barely losing out on time here and there, so we need to crank out a bit more raw damage. Like, to that measure, I understand I probably need to finish Venti. I could stand to take his talents a bit higher. It's like Venti's damage ends up amounting to a lot of his damage. I'm sorry, Venti's talents can end up amounting to a lot of his damage. And then his Stringless, I could still take this even further as well. I don't have any more refines for it, I don't think. No. So I can't get this any stronger than it is. However, I could still at least take it to 90. So it's like not undoable. That should increase my damage by a lot as well, because taking into account the base attack, the difference that I'm missing, and the extra elemental mastery. And my Venti's artifacts are not really that good, all things considered. So I could really make his artifacts a lot better too. But they're like okay for now. Good enough, I would say. Probably could go ahead and get Xingqiu higher. As of right now, his energy recharge is 230. How was it 230, to be honest? Gaining plus, I must have him on energy recharge here. It's like I could run the same thing, but what is this? Could you imagine if I ran instead of, you know what? Let's not imagine it. Let's throw it up in the calculator. Let's find this out. Let me just refresh the page because I don't have to do all the things again. Okay, so let's imagine that I take him the same deal. The 90 with both skill level and burst level with this, and let's imagine that I gave him the black sword. Okay. Do like Electro. And I just want the biggest sword rain damage to focus on. And my Xingqiu at least is C6, so I already know. I already know that I could get it to C6. So let's make a comparison. Let's max out all these just so that I can see it. So we want to use 2-piece. What is the 2-piece noblesse? And 2-piece. What is the Hydra set called? I forget. Art of Depth? Right? Yeah, I believe that's what I'm running for now. And I'm using... I think I'm using energy recharge, hydro damage, and attack. Energy recharge, hydro damage, and attack. Let's just fill it in with some random goober. And what weapon am I using? Oh, well, for now I'm using the sack sword, if I recall correctly. So let me sack sword it for now. So that's why I have like so much energy recharge. Which I know having at least 200% energy recharge on Xingqiu is like really good. But now, let's imagine. Okay, so we have his sword ring damage at an average of like 1900, right? Now, let's see, what if I took this to Black Sword with crit damage? All of a sudden, we got this from 19 to 24. That's like a 500 DPS increase for the sword ring now, which is that's already a big increase. Now, let's see if we change it to full emblem. So we could get to about the same DPS. Just the main difference, as usual, is one, I won't have 2 swings of the E every once in a while. I won't have 2 of them, which I think can be okay. Now let's imagine if we, like with Zhongli, let's imagine we can get him to at least 20 or so. Yeah, let's just do 20-ish crit values. Just to really see. Yeah, because this will be 14, this is like 21. Now let's get these higher to like 14. And let me change the circles. Put this also to like 10. So we're almost able, assuming we get, you know, these pretty good artifacts, we're able to get his sword rain damage very high. Like that's a lot of sword rain damage. Like it's a huge amount of sword rain damage. So remember, it's at 29 for now, right? Because I think my actual talent levels in game, oh, they're basically like that, so it's not that big of a deal to compare it in such a way. Now let's imagine, instead of Black Sword, what if we gave him I don't have a, oh yeah, I do have a Skyward Blade. The Skyward Blade is the one that I have on Bennett, though. It doesn't really even increase his damage by much. Yeah, that's not really what I'd like to give him. What is it? Fillet blade? No. What's the one that Albedos like to use? It's the Harbinger of Dawn, right? Oh, but this assumes crit damage, so what if I just change this to crit rate? $14. It's not quite 3k, but it's still pretty high damage. All things considered. I say all things considered a lot, huh? And if we're able to keep his HP topped off, we could get him hella crit. We could make his damage really high. Alternatively, I could just get him the Black Sword and... What if let's see what his best sword would be. So it would be Summit Shape, huh? Well, clearly I don't have Summit Shaping. The Black Sword is so far down here. This is kind of sad that Black Sword barely beats Harbinger of Dawn in good conditions. Now, of course, that might not always be the case, but if you just pair him with like Zhongli, for example, then it could be. And Royal Longsword's not a fair comparison either because of so this calculator, when you do like optimized weapon, for example, it factors everything at max stats. So it's factoring this as if it was always at 5 stats, when realistically it's probably better to factor it at like 2 stats, in which case it's 3100, which realistically, even if that is the case of it only being 3100, it's still better than the other one. Now, what if I change this back to crit damage? No, that ain't the change. Just back to crit rate. I'm really kind of excited about this. We can make Xingqiu so much stronger. Okay, so I forgot to put it a side by side. Oh no. I more or less did, right? I think he was doing like 1900 damage. So this could add like almost like 70-80% damage to him, huh? To his sword army. And it makes his E a fair bit stronger as well. Because you have all that Hydra damage and crit rate. Crit stats to focus on. All I know is swinging out with like 18k E's is probably gonna do big ol' fat damage. So if I use Q and then E, the E will do big chunks of damage too. And it's kind of okay because you could just QE and then wait around for the energy orbs and then switch to Yelan and use her EQ to maximize my uptime on my water particles. I could see that being really good. Yeah, I kind of like the idea. This gives me a lot of crit. Okay, well, first of all, let me switch off Royal and go back to Black Sword. I'm pretty sure Black Sword is like... I don't know at this point. At this point, I'm thinking the Harbinger of Dawn might just be good enough. Because, I mean, realistically, look at it. The sword ring damage is not even that bad. The thing is I just need to make sure I get good artifacts, right? It's like, yeah, I lose out on a bit, but I feel like I'd rather just get the deathmatch for jungle. I don't know, 3-star weapons are actually pretty okay. You know that? They're like not really that bad. It's more about your artifact quality from the looks of things. I guess that's already fairly obvious, but even more so now. Yeah, unfortunately, the developer of this calculator, I know that developing this calculator is probably no easy work. And I'm sure he's probably dying out of passion for this calculator, which is a great shame because I really did enjoy this calculator. It's like, I know that there's the other Genshin calculator. Hold on, let me pop it up real quick. I know that there's this calculator, which is very nice because it works off of, how would you say? It's not so much theoretical. It works mostly off of your actual artifacts that you do have. But sometimes it's the theory crafting that I like, so that I can know to work towards something. Like, for example, let's say I wanted to do that, where I wanted to theory craft Zhongli, for example, right? Let's just say that I wanted to do that. Let's say I gave him let's unequip all his artifacts. Let's move his weapon. How do I change his weapon? Let's swap the weapon to a white tassel. Let's edit this weapon to be 90. Now, you could put theoretical things like, let's say I want him to have at least 60 crit rate with at least 150 crit damage, right? And then exclude all, because I only want him to be able to use 4-piece. Where's Emblem of Severed Fate? Oh, right here. I only want him to use Emblem of Severed Fate. And I want to focus on Planet Befall. And let's change his talents to be... let's change his level to be 90. And his talents to be 9 in each category. So let's assume all of them are at least level 20. Is it possible to generate a build like this? So I can't get it with the artifacts that I have. Now let's allow all things. Can I do it now? Generate build, please. So it's still not really. Let's use equipped artifacts as well. Generate a build. So it seems unlikely to be able to reach this because of the, just the way that I have to do it. because again, it doesn't really allow me to theory craft artifacts. I have to use artifacts that I already have. Which, I mean, I could just input fake artifacts, but I don't really want to do that. That's what I like this other calculator for, and I really appreciate this one for if it was updated to more current content. Like, for example, once again, let's say I wanted to work on, let's say I want to do Sayu, right? Or actually, let me refresh this picture. Let's say I want to make Sayu, and all I want her to do is I want her ult to heal stupid amounts. Or even better, let me just max these artifacts so that it has a better chance of understanding at a base level. Let's increase these to 9 because why would I ever use anything less? And then let me use like an energy recharge, like a Favonius Greatsword. So, let's say I wanted to use Ocean Hued Clan. So the thing is I can't make this focus on... Yeah. I wish I could make this focus on how much... how would I say this? On how much the artifact is, because this website does allow me to do that. Okay, so funny enough, if I just took all of my... Or I guess if I just took 2 of my Raiden Shogun's best artifacts, I could reach this stage, which allows me to be throwing down these 35k planet befalls, but then I really gimp my Raiden Shogun. Which is not the worst idea, to be honest. But you see, it relies on me having theoretical, or I guess not theoretical, it relies on me having real artifacts and non-theoreticals. It's okay that I was messing around with that, because I'm going to replace the database later on anyways, it's not a big deal. Okay, so I want to focus on my burst healing for this then, because I want to get as much healing for Ocean Hued Clan as possible. Alright, so naturally, let's see, let's optimize these for such a purpose. Now the thing is I want an energy recharge lock, because I want to be able to use her ult at any point. Because her ult, it's a heavy ult cost, I think. And then this way, let me see the other super ninja technique of the blah blah blah. Each being you think is above 70 or attack and if there are active characters that will heal the active character the lowest percentage. If they're not energy, okay, but also my Sayu is it's only C1, but the C1's like the best one anyways, because that means it will always ignore. You see, the Muji Muji Daruma heals Okay, whatever. So, it does heal. So, it requires me having language of attack and bonus. And then it just doesn't do much damage, but it does offer me the ability to heal some. Which, at the very least, if I heal some, then the Ocean Hood Clam will do some damage. It probably won't do much, but any damage is damage at this point. Right. Now, what if I just wanted... Let's reimagine this again. So I would like to build Fischl at some point. Right, so it's same thing as always. Take both of these to 9. Give her some crappy bow. Maybe not messenger. There's gotta be a free crit rate bow, right? But this doesn't weaken my E damage at all, right? So I could literally just use Slingshot, I guess. It's probably fine. We're working on theoreticals anyways. So we want the Frey Kugel damage. Smack these out. I'm thinking we'll probably go for Thundering Fury. It's probably Thundering Fury, to be honest. And then, naturally, let's see what it suggests damage-wise on this. Well, honestly, that looks pretty good. I can't believe it's just that easy. Right? So this gives 31. What about the Viridescent Hunt? Wow, the Slingshot gives more crit rate than Viridescent Hunt does. It's kind of crazy. Okay, what about, like, Allergy? No, we don't want Allergy. Ugh. Oh, Black Cliff. With no stats. So it was at, wait, hold on, let me see. This was at how much with Slingshot? 3k, right? So let's check out Blackcliff with no stats. With crit rate. Wow, that's a lot of it. That's a big difference in average damage. And I think I have Blackcliff bow to give her. Let me see, where's my official? Or at the very least, I have a Blackcliff, but I do have it on Ganyu for now. Yeesh. Yeah, it really just comes down to your damage then, huh? I don't, unfortunately, even have a Slingshot to give her, because I sacked everything. So now I'll just have to work my way to getting another R5 Slingshot. I mean, I think being R5 or not doesn't really change anything, because it just increases. It's like, this is not bad. This is like pretty decent damage. Then, you know, of course, with the Thundering Fury, increases damage caused by overload by 40%, which I suspect she'll be doing quite a bit of. Especially if I pair her with somebody like, let's say, if I was to use her with, like, who's a decent fire unit that could utilize her well. Beats the hell out of me. What if I used her with, instead, well, I could use her with like a water unit. Like, what if I did an electro-charged taser team? Like, Raiden, Shogun, Fischl, Yelan Kazuha? That could be really nice, right? There's something along those lines in any case. Oh, I'm pleasantly surprised. It really is that easy. Just get semi-decent... Just get your artifacts that at least have some crit rate and some crit damage. Like, it doesn't even need to be a lot. And you're popping off at that point. And then, you know, of course, this goes up exponentially. Like, let's say I was able to get this to... This is like 25 crit value, right? So let's say I just keep doing it like that. Let's say I get this to like 21, 22 or something. Same thing with this. Look at that damage. It's insane. But you see how, even though it's kind of like insane, just having a base amount is already a big enough win. Watch, I'll re-emphasize what I mean right now. So let me take all this back. So the main thing is hitting like these subs, or this like beginning amount. Like, I think if you could hit at least 50 crit rate with like, I don't know, at least 120 crit damage, I think you end up being able to hit like a solid threshold of damage. Because you saw that even when I increased these to like incredible amounts of crit value, like it only goes up by 5. Right? Like, let me back this one down a bit. Like, realistically, it doesn't improve my damage by such an insane amount, because I'm pretty sure at that point that just comes down to having 5-star weapons. Right? Like, watch, we could do it again. Look at how easy this is. People who say Genshin Impact is pay to win, it's pay to cap out, okay? You don't need to hit those ones. If this isn't proof enough, watch. Look, let's think of another character. I don't have Yoimiya, so I can't even pretend to build here. But let's say if I wanted to make, like who? I have no idea. Let's do Arataki Ito. So I already have Ito, but let's say I was just able to get like Wet and Wild like this, right? So I could probably, wait, let me see. There's got to be a great sword that gives crit rate, right? Right. There is one, right? Is there not a free 3-star one that can do that? Hold on, let me look up the weapons really quick, because now I almost am in disbelief. Wow, no. There's no free... So I guess if you're a Claymore user, you're just shit out of luck. You have to get either Black Cliff or... You have to get either Black Cliff... Serpent Spine. Let's get Serpent Spine, because I'm pretty sure that's what I'm already using on my Ito. Oh, I'm actually using Black Cliff. I think either's probably okay-ish. Okay, I mean, we'll make a comparison to see. So naturally, it's gonna suggest certain stats to be certain types of way. bloodstained. Can it not tell that I'm... Is it because I have charge attack 1? Let me change things. No, you fool. Okay, I don't remember what I have on my Ito, but I'm pretty sure Ito's is... Oh yeah, the Husk of Opulent Dreams. Okay, let's do Husk instead. Because I know it's supposed to be Husk. Now let me change this again because what the hell's going on? I don't know why it was suggesting me to go raw defense. I don't know what that was all about. But, okay, so in this case, I would hit 71... Wait, 71 crit? Really? Well, I guess so, because that's his natural stat game, huh? Okay, so let's copy to empty slot. So this one we're going to use, instead of Serpent Spine, we'll do Black Cliff. Oh, and this is Serpent Spine with no stacks. I'm pretty sure we can assume 5 stacks. Or let's just assume 3 stacks. It's a nice average. Okay, let's do the same thing, but we'll do Black Cliff instead. Does anybody see Black Cliff? Okay. Do Black Cliff with no stacks versus this. Okay, so our DPS is looking to be an average of 9.5 with Black Cliff versus 10.7 with Serpent Spine. That's a pretty big damage increase. I think it has to do with the fact that Serpent Spine just gives that big fat damage bonus. I guess Serpent Spine really is the way, huh, for Claymore. Yeah, I think if you're Claymore and you are like not a heavy spender, I think you basically have to get Black Cliff because there's, Serpent Spine, because it's not really easy to get any other options. Wow, I can't believe by how... Oh, I didn't even set a goddamn enemy. Hold on, let me change these to actually reflect an enemy. Okay, so 8.2, 7.3. It still is a big difference in damage. Does this able to track my superlative stacks or not? Oh yeah, let me do 3 stack up on both of these as well. I think it's pretty easy to have at least 3 stacks. Wow, so that's just a straight 1,000 enemy increase, or 1,000 DPS increase. On average, anyways. Yeah, so Serpent Spine's just strictly better. But look at that. Look at the stats you gain. I'm pretty sure my Ito stats are not far off from that. It's like, you see, if you just run a crit item and just run the opposite crit stat on your circlet, like in general you'll be okay, so long as you can then guarantee that you can get like crit rate and crit damage substats on all your artifacts, or as many as possible. And even better if they have higher crit value. But look at this, I'm assuming you have like basic level artifacts. Like these are not even 20 crit value artifacts all the way across the board. Like they're at tops 13-14% crit value. And look at the amount of stats you can get. Like this is a really significant amount of stats. Like these are big deal stats right here. Okay, I always love doing this. This is so fun. So like now let's imagine I want Ganyu to have crazy amounts of damage, right? Evidently I learned you could just slingshot and take these to 90. a 90 level enemy. And we want ice shard damage. We actually want 4 emblem fate. No, let's just bing bang this to have the highest amount of stats possible. Wow, I can't believe it's actually suggesting crit rate over crit damage. How could that be? I don't know, but I don't believe it. I'm going crit damage. Okay, so let's compare this to start. So let's see her. Let me see. Oh, first of all, it did attack crowd action. Okay, everything's as it should be. So 55 and 181. Let me copy this to empty slot. And as opposed, let me use Black Cliff with no stacks with crit rate. So this is 3.8. This is 33. Wow, I can't believe it's such a difference in. How could it be so different? Are the stats that much better? It's because of the weapon attack difference, huh? Having almost 200 more weapon attacks seems to be like really sealing the deal here. Okay, well, what if I change this to Viridescent Hunt? It still does 3,800. And that does 38. I don't really see the point of using Viridescent Hunt, but you see that? Black Cliff, even with no stacks, ends up pretty damn strong most of the time. I mean, look at that. She could get 5,800 damages on her rain. Like that's a significant amount. That's per rain, and they stack, right? So it's pretty nice. It's nice. And the crit values, again, as usual, they're super low, so you could always afford to bump them up a tiny bit. Like this is insane. Like this is assuming you're getting a 26 crit value. Let's just bump these up for like showman's sake. Like these are not even unrealistic ones to get, but look at that ice shard damage. This was the Black Cliff one, right? Look at that. 4,400 average DPS. It's pretty big deal. I could be rocking those 6k ice shards. It's nice. I really enjoy doing this and theory crafting in this way. Yeah. Obviously, if you can afford to get a 4-star crit weapon, then you should. But if you can't, if your class has a 3-star option, it's probably still fine to take a 3-star option. It's like, we know claymores are just doomed. Claymores don't have free 3-star options. But let's say I wanted to make like a, I don't know, heavy investment into somebody who, let me say Kaching, right? Actually, Kaching's a fine way to test because I actually have the desire to build Kaching at a moment's notice because I have, let's see, let's give her either, no, let's use the Harbinger of Dawn just to really see. 401% weapon attack as a base is pretty high, to be honest. And I have her at C2. That's the big difference. So we do want to assume that we're gonna run her in an electro fashion. I was gonna recommend Shimenawas, but we don't want Shimenawas. I'll assume we could probably just do like gladiators. I don't know what's the best artifact set for kitchen, but I'm almost certain it's not Shimenawas. But whatever the hell it is, I don't know. We'll just do gladiator just for clarity's sake. And then watch. Watch this damage difference. So we're gonna make a big comparison here of her average DPS. This is the main thing we're gonna be targeting. So as you can see, the Harbinger of Dawn's a crit damage sword with crit rate. This gets her to 65, 174. Okay, so 3.6, it's copied to an empty slot, and once more. So this time, we're going to use Blackcliff with the same conditions. So Blackcliff's only like 5-ish hundred extra DPS. I mean, no, I'm sorry. Like 40, 50 extra DPS. Like, so in terms of Blackcliff, you almost, it's not even really worth it. Or for swords, it's not even really worth running Blackcliff. You're better off just using Harbinger of Dawn. Now, here's where I'm going to really focus on the other difference though. Let's use the black sword and change this. I know it likes to say that crit's higher, but could that possibly be? I guess if you attack enough, it is. Gives you 80% crit. I don't know if you really need to have that much crit rate though. I mean, I guess it's fine. Imagine if you have that much crit rate. Okay, but again, let's look at the real difference. So this is Blackcliff. Blackcliff's a loser. Let's just delete that. So we're looking at Harbinger of Dawn versus Black Sword. Now clearly, Black Sword's a big winner here. Absolutely crushes Harbinger of Dawn. However, Harbinger of Dawn's damage is not negligible. Now, of course, since she would be main DPS, I think it's kind of hard to assume that we can keep this up at all times unless we have a dedicated healer matching her. So if we take this down, it does lower by a considerable amount. And that's where the big difference comes between having Harbinger of Dawn available to like a support character, because they could just like do quick swap playstyle and just really get in and out before taking much damage, so they could stay at 100% HP most of the time, especially if coupled with some type of a shielder. But we won't always have that option available to us as a main DPS, so I think obviously Black Sword's a big winner here in terms of availability for a reasonable cost. I know not everybody is able to afford to get the battle pass every time, not even myself. I only get it if I realize I have a character that I want to work on with Black Sword, or whatever battle pass weapon is relevant at the time. So like for me, going forward, I could probably use Black Sword or Deathmatch as like the viable options, or even for Claymore, you basically need Serpent Spine if you want to stand a chance. Like let me take a look at Zhongli again, because I forgot. Let's redo this comparison, because I forget from earlier the difference between Deathmatch and White Tassel. Let's see, we're looking at his total burst damage. We want Emblem of Severed Fate. Keep these numbers. White Tassel gives crit rate, so this gives crit damage. Excuse me. Thank you. Okay, so since Zhongli does not have a natural like fight crit rate, like this is more or less what you could expect. But still, it nearly hits the usual metric of 50 crit rate to 150, or at least 140 crit damage. So let's flip the script a bit. I actually do want this to be HP one. The clock. Okay, so that's 34k, right? Now, alternatively, let's copy to an empty slot here. And we want this to be... Oh, which one's Hellbring? Definitely not Hellbring. We want it to be Deathmatch. And let's expect there to be at least 2 enemies nearby. Because it's the weaker of the bonuses, but the Deathmatch will always have at least a bonus. 16 increased by 25. Right, so this is more or less what we want to do. And then for the circlet, let's change this a bit. So the difference in damage here is a pretty significant amount. So once again, it looks like the Deathmatch is a phenomenal winner because of the extra crit rate you get from it, plus the excess attack you get from the bonus. Because here you're at 1350, here you're almost 12. It doesn't seem like much attack, but it's a significant amount. And then never you mind if I was to change this to just this, like the damage goes even further up. So from 49k crit to a 54k crit, and 34k average to 41k average. It's a big difference, but honestly, it's not that big. So if you just wanted to use White Tassel, you're totally fine to use White Tassel. Let me see what's his best option. What the hell's a Wave Breakers? Oh, if anything, it's suggesting that Black Tassel might even be better. I don't think so. No. I hardly think so. Because it's either you crit or you don't, but if you do crit, it's gonna be big. But why would I gamble on such a thing? Oh, I guess we... So let me put this back to White Tassel. I forgot to compare... compare this to Blackcliff as well. So 37k versus 41k versus 34k. So Blackcliff is definitely stronger than White Tassel, but it's really by such a marginal difference that I can't hardly say that you should ever really realistically use it. Yeah, Blackcliff a lot of the times just not worth it unless you are running a specific class that has to use it, I guess. Like, definitely I could tell you swords, just don't even use Blackcliff. Like, Harbinger of Dawn's pretty close. Or just get the Black Sword if it's possible for you to get it. For Zhongli, it looks like I might be a White Tassel user after all. It's like, who cares about the normal damage increase, you know, it's not... This doesn't change anything for me. Now, if I was, to deathmatch it, that's a big difference. Now, there's a crit rate main sword, right? Like, is this a crit rate one? Hit, increase attack by blah blah blah, max 7 stacks. Let's do... I mean, not that I would have ever used this one. Let's Skyward Spine. No, Skyward Spine's not really that good either. Now, I'm certain if you have Staff of Homa, that it's probably by far your best bet. Oh yeah, 46k versus 34k. Just for having a Staff of Homa? And then, let's assume I even have the ability to activate. Look at that, 51k meteors you could be dropping. Or an average. If you land a crit, it's a 73k. And then let's see these... Now I'm really pushing it. Let's take this to 10 into R5. Oh wow, 100k drops. It's so big for no reason. Okay, but I hope this little lesson teaches you something, which is you can safely rely on 3-star weapons sometimes. Big sometimes. You see, for a lot of cases you can't, because there's just none. I have to get Blackcliff on Ito because I don't have another option. At the time, I didn't have the desire to purchase the Battle Pass to get the Serpent Spine, and that's okay. This proves that you don't need Serpent Spine. So long as you have a 4-star weapon, your damage will be within the ballpark. Really, what it comes down to is the quality of your artifacts. Now, my artifacts, I understand, are not super high quality, but that's just how it goes sometimes, you know? That's just the way it is. Like, this could be... These could all be better. Each and every one of them could be a higher crit value. Look at the crit value on my artifacts. They're non-existent. Like, this is like the only okay one. The 2 guaranteed ones are the only okay ones. That are... Like, this is 30 crit value, essentially. Oh yeah, it's 30 crit value. This is not even 30 crit value, but it's close to it. And then 12. Just 5. No, I guess that's 10 crit value. And so, do you see what I'm saying? You see how much better their stats could be? Like, it's really okay. Like, my Ito stats are far and beyond okay. And then, on my Geo team, once I get Zhongli nice and leveled up and get his white tassel all set up, he's going to be able to drop 30Ks, which can help my Ito team a lot, because as of right now, my Ito's the only one on the team who does any damage. Where if I was to put Bennett into the team, I mean, of course Bennett's usually in the team because I don't have Albedo. Though I suppose I could put like Raiden Shogun to help people get their ults back. But in any case, that's besides the point. If I add Zhongli to the team with his full ult build, or his full burst build rather, it'll allow me to soften up the amount of damage that Ito needs to do, because Ito cannot have an unlimited uptime on the field, because he's basically only useful so long as he's in his Royal Descent form, I suppose. Only when he's in his Raging Oni King state does he do any damage whatsoever. But that's what's exciting. Now we could look forward to building up Zhongli. Of course, it's not like I can do it willy-nilly or at any time. I do need to get his goddamn artifacts. And that's just the pain of playing Genshin Impact. It's all artifacts, baby. It's all artifacts. Well, I suppose that's probably more or less all we can do on Genshin for today. I mean, we were realistically done with Genshin content like an hour ago. I just was messing around on the calculator for who knows how long, to be honest with you. I guess we could do farming, but I don't really want to. How about we just call it there for the day, huh? And then, I don't know if I'll start up another stream after this. If I do, it might be Maple Story again. If I don't, then you know how that goes. Sorry if I don't. I just can't really think of any other content to do. I mostly want to make Genshin Impact content, but when the game doesn't allow me to, what can I do? I want to make Genshin Impact content, but I'm essentially dry. There's nothing else. I've done all the content that there realistically is for me to do as of late. All my resin's spent. I've cleared floor 12, floor 12, chamber 3. I've done it all. Let me go reset my expeditions for the other characters who weren't done. The side characters, my food farmers. We go regain them. Add Astra Abyssosk. Kaya back. And Amber back. And Yelan back. Perfect. Yeah, well, that's it. I suppose that's it. Nothing else I can think of to do. Alright, well, I want to thank you guys so much for coming out. This has been Maris Rey, Water Dragon Extraordinaire. I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, like the video, like the stream. Follow me on Twitter, link in the description below, over my torso in the bottom left. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, alright? Stay safe, stay hydrated. See ya.